These are the Israelites. It is a time of forgetfulness. God's people repeatedly forgot how he had saved them from slavery in Egypt through Moses. They often forgot about God entirely.
What? Who are you talking about?
He said we're forgetful about God.
Sorry, who?
Exactly. You could say that the Israelites were wishy-washy about their love for God.
Whatever.
Sometimes they followed God and his commands, and sometimes they didn't. When they didn't, things started to go badly for the Israelites, and their enemies would come. One of these enemies was King Jabin from Hatzor.
Aha! You're not so strong when you forget about your God. I'll just take these for myself. Ooh, fresh bread.
When they didn't worship him, God's people grew weak, and their enemies grew strong.
At least I got my backup roll here in my pocket.
No, you don't. Hey, we don't like it when people take our stuff, especially our food. Well, I got 900 iron chariots, so you better watch it.
King Jabin's thunderous chariots would have struck such fear into the hearts of people back then. Because the Israelites were doing evil, God allowed Jabin's power to grow, and he terrorized them for 20 long years. Finally, the Israelites remembered God and cried out to him for help.
God, help us! Help us!
God heard his people and acted to rescue them. Jabin's 900 chariot army did not impress or scare God at all. He could beat Jabin with anyone. God gave wisdom to a woman named Deborah. God called Deborah to be his prophet for the Israelites. She led the people and served as their judge, settling their disagreements.
I am Deborah, and God wants me to deliver his messages to you, to help you remember and obey him.
Deborah sent for Barak, a man who lived in the land of Naphtali.
Huh?
That's one of the 12 tribes of Israel. God's people. Deborah told him what God was going to do.
God will set a trap for Sisera, the commander of Jabin's army. God says to bring an army of 10,000 men to Mount Tabor. That's where God will give victory to his people.
But they'll come with those iron chariots, right?
Yeah? So?
I mean, I know that God is so much more powerful than 900 chariots, but I'm still scared. I can't do it without you. Will you please come with me?
Oh, brother, get up. Fine, I'll go with you. But you need to know that you won't get to defeat Jabin's commander, Sisera. God will give that mighty honor to a woman.
Okay, let's do this. Men of Naphtali and Zebulun, let's free God's people!
The two armies saw each other and raced into the battle. As they got close, Deborah told Barak,
God says go. Today, the Lord will hand Sisera over to you. Hasn't the Lord gone ahead of you?
Barak charged with his 10,000 men.
Go, get him!
Sisera thundered with Jabin's iron army.
Attack! Get him!
But it was God himself who sent Sisera's army into a panic.
Wait, what's happening? Oh no! We're gonna lose!
All of their strength and iron were no match for God. Barak's men completely defeated their enemies. However, the commander Sisera escaped from the battle. He ran and ran and ran and ran until he couldn't run anymore.
I'm running. I need a rest. Are you from the Haber family? Yes. Come on in. Take this milk and take a nap. I will watch the doorway so no one comes into the tent while you are sleeping.
Sisera knew that his king had an agreement with Haber. So he drank the milk, slid under some blankets, and fell asleep. He thought that he had escaped God's great victory.
But my family are relatives of Moses' brother-in-law, so we really like God's people.
Jael knew Sisera had been terrorizing God's people. She grabbed a hammer and a tent peg and used them to strike Sisera dead while he slept. God defeated the mighty chariot army. And even though Sisera did everything he could to escape, God defeated Sisera by the hands of a woman, just as Deborah had said. Deborah and Barak sang a new song praising God and singing blessings over Jael for her role in God's victory. Who would have imagined that a woman in a tent with a cup of milk and a blanket would have played a role in God's victory? So, even if you're someone well-known like Deborah and Barak, or your life feels quiet and ordinary like Jael's, God worked through them and they all played a part in God's victory. And that's because God can work through unlikely people